exhibited and displayed brilliantly in the essay paper. How you acquire this skill? You acquire this skill when you honestly and dedicatedly develop all the essentials which are required for this kind of writing. I will just outline here what are those essentials which you require to display this kind of writing. Number one, you have to have error-free English. When I say error-free English, it means that without grammatical errors. Simple English. You do not need to be Thomas Hardy. You are not going to write a classical novel over there. You just have to have a command over simple English without grammatical errors. This is one basic essential ability that you have to have. Number two, you have to have a deeper understanding and comprehension of the issues at hand. You have to offer an analysis in and out of all the problems that you are dealing with in a given essay. And number three, you have to offer solutions. You're not going to be someone who just, discuss the problems in my, typical language. I would say कि बस रोना नहीं है, रोना पीटना नहीं डाल के आ जाना पेपर में कि ये मसला है, ये मसला है, ये भी खराब है, ये भी खराब है. You have to offer solutions. An officer is one who offers solutions. This is one thing that will discern between you and a common man. And your analysis should be based on facts. It should be factual. It should be practical. It should offer pragmatic solutions, and it should offer an insight into the upcoming events associated with that given problem. This is something most of the students who are attempting to write an essay and learning and practicing essay day in and day out, they miss it. One of the most essential abilities that you have to exhibit as an officer, and I have learned it from my own experience from various positions on which I have worked, that one thing that you have to always give to the government is predict how this problem is going to impact in the future. If you are not able to do that, you are useless, in my opinion, as an officer. It also means that you do not have a clear understanding and clear comprehension of the problem. And let me assure you, if you do not give the examiner this very clearly, that I understand this topic excellently, I comprehend it in all its aspects, and I am the one who is giving the most rounded off solution, which inculcates and includes all the elements which have to be considered. This is one thing that has to come out very prominently and very loud in your essay. When I will be taking you through this module of essay writing, my focus would be on three things. Number one, to inculcate a style of your own, how to nurture your own style, something you read from dawn, from newspapers, from magazines, from internet. You do not produce those things as they are. Rather, you take the main points, you make it your own, and then you include it in your piece of writing. This is one of the basic skills, which is a very difficult skill to acquire, but this is the basic skill that you have to work on. This is the main area where you have to work hard. Uh, Number two, once you have learned how to enunciate the ideas in your own personalized style, you have to learn through this module with me how to do a rightful analysis. A rightful analysis would include many things. I have one full-fledged presentation uh, as to how to do a rightful analysis according to the requirements of the CSS essay paper. Let me assure you, if you do not do the analysis in the essay paper, you almost very assuredly fail. So we have to avoid this pitfall, and we have to learn very diligently how to do the analysis. One of the main aspects that I have always given to my students when they are trying to do the analysis is to learn to do is learn to read critically, to think critically, and then to write critically. Once you learn how to read critically and write critically, it is automatic. I'm sorry, think critically. It is just automatic that you write critically. When you say this, it's very easy. It's easier said than done. To think critically is one of the hardest things in life. Not many people are used to thinking about things critically. Once you do that, only then you can have a little bit of guarantee that you are going to qualify the CSS, because one of the main things that the panel has categorically mentioned in its annual reports over the years again and again is that we look for the ability of critical analysis in the aspirants. And one of the reasons that most of the aspirants who sit in the CSS as a paper fail is that they do not exhibit the ability to think over things critically. So one of my main focus would be on this point, critical analysis. The third and last point is how to adapt to the particular style of CSS essay paper. When you're writing an essay, there could be many books available in the market. There could be many techniques you can read over on a website on the internet. But CSS has some particular demands. You have to, know what are those demands. You are dealing with the problems of a country, Pakistan. You have to know what are the practical limits that Pakistan has. For example, when you are giving your solutions, you might say that we need to digitize the whole FBR machinery, or we have to revolutionize a particular segment by doing this and this and this kind of reforms. But do you know the cultural handicap that Pakistan has? Do you know the temperament of the social milieu of Pakistan? Do you have an accurate idea about the ethnic mix that Pakistan has, the type of heterogeneous society it is, and a peculiar, rather, political culture that we have? So when you are offering a solution, rather than just copying from the Western precepts and ideas, we have to cater to the needs of our own society and political, social, cultural realities, and only then you stand a chance to qualify the essay paper. I do not want to make it look very difficult at this point, so you are scared off and you think that Madam Eamon is going to run a very difficult module and we cannot cope with it. But my assertion here is that I want to be honest. I want to tell you what I did for myself to secure these marks 67 and 64, and what worked for me should also work for you, of course, in a new context, with the new realities, with the new problems. So this is how we are going to approach this module. Normally, my practice had been that I would give you the assignments, and students will write down their pieces of writing and will send me back into email. I will give them the feedback, and this is how they improve. Last year we had many students qualifying the CSS exam and even getting allocated. Many texted me that they have learned a lot about the essay. They texted me in their personal capacities that they learned a lot about the essay paper. So I have success stories to share with you from the platform of Vocabulary Times, and a couple in my own personal capacity. Some were my personal students and they mashallah qualified. So I hope that you also will be able to learn from me, and you also will be, getting into the hard work that I normally put you through. One thing I want to make it very clear here, that I like discipline, and I appreciate the students who are disciplined, committed, and punctual. Even if I get late, I'm not saying that I will be late and you should be on time. This is not to say, but because of certain technical issues, sometimes the presentation is, a bit late, 5 minutes maximum. So, but you should not take it as an excuse. You are the student, you are here to learn. No matter what happens, your commitment should stand every obstacle. The technical obstacle, I was just highlighting the fact that you should not think that this is a virtual environment and this is just a second hand tool to learn, and only a real academy or a face to face mentor can impart the real learning. I have multiple, over the years, I've been associated with Vocabulary Times since 2015, I guess, or 16 probably. So over the years, we have many success stories, and there are people who just learned through the online platforms. So one thing that should outshine